That's more like it, Naveen. Well done. Oh my god, my voice is broke. Christ. Hello, you little frauds. Apologies that I'm showing off more flesh than usual today. It's hot. Please allow it. Please allow it. The PC is very hot. The GPU and CPU is very hot. The room is very hot. The world is very hot right now. So let's... Tranquilo, yeah? Before you have a go at my shoulders, allow it, yeah? Allow it. In today's Touchline Talk at 2, this time on a Friday, what we are... as Southpack has just said there, what we're going to be doing... What we are going to be doing is assessing Manchester City's Club World Cup showing against Wydad. We're going to sort of be discussing the fallout from it. Maybe have a chat about, you know, what was learned from it, if anything. Is it possible to learn something from a match like that? You love that from me, Yanko. and basically just having a chit chat about that. So I've titled the stream Club World Cup Reactivism because I was going to say I can't believe the reaction to it, but that would be a lie because I actually can believe it. So we'll touch on that a little bit. The amount of crybabies that are out there. Cry dad, yeah, exactly. Bye dad, sly dad. Yeah, and just like the general fallout from it and that sort of thing. There is a Patreon, to be fair, but you know there is no naughty content over there. That would be naughty. As you're coming into the stream, guys, please make sure to leave a like on the video. It is free and it does help. If you want to support your boy, then click that join button to become a member of the channel. How we are doing today, though? Hope if you are in the England, hope you are doing okay with how grim it is. Yeah, exactly, Southpack. Jump scare. That's crazy, Sam. That's crazy. It's had to be members only. Where are my clothes? Yeah, not on me. That's where. Hello, Kazoo. Yash, that's crazy. That's crazy. Hello, Pep. Are you worried about Liverpool next season with the signings they're doing? 100%. 100%. We'll see what happens. If they sign Isak, then I don't even know. When is new video? Uploaded one yesterday, matey. I'm not crying, but if you get Isak, then I think you win the league, to be honest, yes. It's a zesty outfit, thank you. OnlyFans. This is crazy, guys. This is crazy. Where's the rest? Because yeah, it was an old one, but well done. Classic in-betweeners. Yeah, apologies. Yeah, I've not. Yeah, well, apologies, not apologies. Right, yeah, so let's have a chat about that then, shall we? Let's have a chat about the sort of reaction to it and and like how City set up. Because if you were here for the watch along, we touched on it in brief, but it was mainly a vibes watch along because it's the Club World Cup, and I'm not really taking it that seriously. I'm just sort of like vibing. So we did sort of touch on in possession and out possession, but we didn't really go into that much detail on it. So maybe now is the opportunity for that. Hey guys, it's a thing. So first of all, let's have some context and some perspective, I think, and some background. This is the Club World Cup, so I'm going to say first of all, let's chill out. Let's chill out on any reactive or overly reactive comments on anything. I'm not going to say that it's a meaningless situation and that nothing can be learnt at all from the matches. But what I am going to say is that it shouldn't be taken too seriously. This is basically pre-season. Now is the time to be experimenting and seeing throwing a lot of shit at the wall and seeing if any sticks, essentially. And if it does, maybe that's an idea you can take into next season. At the same time, we'll see a lot of ideas from the previous game and indeed the coming games where we just won't see them at all next season. You know, Calvin Phillips at centre-back springs to mind. There are many examples where something happens in pre-season and it's like, oh, well, that just didn't happen, or that player didn't get as much time, or it's a totally different shape to what we expected. Once again, I'm not trying to say it's entirely useless, but I am saying that we probably shouldn't be micro-analysing every single little thing. So, for example, Foden and Reinders played together in and out of possession midfield pivot. I don't think we'll ever see that ever again, to be honest with you. I'd be staggered if that happened. We had that very on paper fun-looking front five. Yeah, front five. I'd be very surprised if we ever saw that next season in the main. Savio, Doku, Marmoush, Cherki, Foden. I'd be staggered if we ever saw that again. Hayes partnering Ake with double inverting fullbacks of Rico and Nico O'Reilly. I'd be very surprised if we ever saw any of this again when the actual season begins. Again, it's a time for experimenting, seeing who can do what. So that's the first thing to say. So let's not go mental. If a player doesn't perform that well, let's not write them off and go, right, well, they're shit, or they're not good enough, or they're not being used properly. I think we were 15, 20 minutes into the match on the watch along, and someone was like, oh, new signing, same old City, it's the same old boring stuff. It's like, guys, 20 minutes. It has happened here. Why we jump into this conclusion? It's not happening. We're not on this channel, certainly. So we are going to have some perspective. We're going to have some perspective. But let's touch on that, shall we, though? Because I think the biggest, I don't know if victim's the right term, but certainly the biggest target of this reactive reaction has been Cherki. Absolutely. It's been very odd on both sides of the fence, in fairness, because I've seen some people say that it was absolutely not his fault because he wasn't played in his correct position. We'll get into that in a moment. And then you've got the other side where they are saying that he was dog shit. He's going to be a flop. Someone has been spamming my YouTube comment section recently saying that he's like Ben Arthur and he's going to flop like that. And he's going to be like a streets won't forget player. It's like, oh, okay, right. But both of these sides are wrong. I apologise to have the splinter up my arse, but the truth, it lies somewhere in the middle. This is the first thing to say. He was fine. He was not bad. He was not shit. He wasn't particularly good or great either. That's not a problem. It's his, again, perspective. His first ever bit of action for City. in very challenging circumstances, not only regarding the fact that it's a new team with new teammates, obviously, and a new style of play, of course, as well. Different questions being asked of him as well, potentially. I think Mad Hatter just touched on it. I'm not trying to excuse them or whatever, but we do have to consider it sounds really stupid. I sound very English right now. It was very hot out there. I think there was a reason why we saw such a massive drop from the first half to the second half. Our players are not going to be playing in those circumstances week in, week out in the Premier League. It's absolutely fine for there to be a potential drop-off, whether that's intensity or stamina or fluidity, etc., etc. There's lots of moving parts going on here. And, you know, apologies to sound like it must be rain. We mustn't forget it's been raining. But I do think that is also something to consider. Adding in the fact that, once again, it's his debut. Totally new teammates. Allow it. And again, he was fine. He could well have had an assist as well. There were glimpses and there were some nice moments from him. Yeah, he could have been a bit tidier in respect of his first touch. Yeah, sometimes he made the wrong decision going forwards. But that's fine because of the reasons I've just outlined there. And again, he should, I'm going to upgrade that to a should. He should have had an assist. Foden should have scored a second goal. It was a good save by the goalkeeper, but I would have expected Foden to score that goal. So I don't think that's a problem. I don't think that's a problem at all. Again, fine. It's like a sort of like 5 or 6 out of 10 or something. If you're doing like a player rating situation, I don't know. People are acting like he was a detriment to the team, and we need to like calm down on that. And it's so funny because I know I can't prove this because I've not been like, making a note of the people who are doing this beforehand, but I guarantee that the people who were like the most excited for Shirky, the people who were like gagging and saying how our midfield's a load of shit and we need to shiny new toy, we need to start Echeverry, we need to start McAtee, we need to start Bob. Okay, now we need to bring in Verts, now we need to bring in Shirky. I guarantee these are the same people who are now having it in for him. I 100% guarantee that. It would be interesting to see how long until they decide that he's surplus to requirements as well. That'd be interesting. These people are never satisfied. That's maybe a conversation for the end of the stream. First of all, I want to chat about the actual match itself. Yeah, Navi, I mean, that guy's a fucking moron, to be honest with you, so I wouldn't worry about that. Yeah, so he was absolutely fine. Let's now go to the other side, though, because I've seen some people... Yeah, I know, it's a tank top, guys. Get over it. Get over it. Specifically, it's a Captain America tank top. Get over it. It's fucking hot. Allow it. Allow it. Yeah, because I've seen the other side of the coin, and people trying to go too far the other way, and saying that, well, Shirky wasn't played in his best position. So, it's absolutely not his fault. Now, I don't know where that's come from, because, true, there were moments where occasionally Shirky would technically be the highest player, the player furthest forward. And at times, that was the case. But that wasn't his position. I think we called it like right at the start of the watch-along, because what I wanted to see was Foden left central midfielder and Shirky right central midfielder, attacking-wise. And it was the opposite. So people say, oh, it wasn't Shirky's fault because he was playing false 9, and that's not his position. He wasn't playing false 9 at all. It was a really weird setup by Pep based on the players on the pitch. But he was not always the most advanced player, and he was not always playing as this like focal point sort of player, as people have tried to say in order to defend him. So it's not about he was playing the wrong position, even though I do actually think he should have played the right of centre rather than left, but he was still playing in the centre. He wasn't playing as a false 9 player. The problem, I think, and what we can be reasonable about, Sam, I agree, and what we can be reasonable about is that his striker, Marmoush, wasn't really occupying the striker areas. And I think that is potentially where the problem lay. Lied? Lay. The problem, that's where the problem lied. That's where the problem lay. That's where the problem was. I'm getting my fucking tenses wrong there. I don't know. Maybe they're both acceptable. I don't know. Anyway, that's where the problem was, I think. Because Shirky didn't have this, like, focal point target striker to hit and to create for. It was very different, because we all know Marmoush is not that sort of striker. This isn't me having a go at Marmoush at all. He's my favourite player at City right now. But he is not... he's not that sort of focal point, or that sort of 9, that sort of striker. Where the problem lies. But I'm talking past tense. It can't be lies. Because I'm talking about what happened in the past. So that lies is present tense. That's where the problem lied, or lay. Surely. Anyway, yeah. Southgate, yeah. Holland stretches the defence. Shirky gets more space. And he's just going to be more comfortable playing with an actual striker as well. So that's something to consider also. You know, so maybe for some of these games, having Marmoush as this focal point isn't the solution if you want to get the best out of Shirky when he's in the centre. Because what Marmoush wants to do is he wants to back off a little bit. He doesn't really want to occupy there. He wants to back off a little bit and drift slightly to the left. That's what he wants. That's not what Shirky wants necessarily. So the dynamics weren't there for him to succeed. That is not defending him entirely, but I think it is important context. So once again, there are too many people going the other way. Some people saying he was playing like a pure striker / false 9. I don't think that's correct. And then you got people saying he was just like shit and rubbish, and he's actually not going to. I don't know if you guys saw Ask Nobbins. The first question, is Shirky going to survive at City under Guardiola? What does that even mean? What does that mean, is he going to survive? So it's this weird... can I do a session on a grammatical statement on another day? Nah, now is the time, Tony. So yeah, the truth lies somewhere in the middle. Yes, the dynamics weren't set up for him to succeed. That is not the same as he was played out of position. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. It's fine to ask. It's fine for us to have maybe expected Shirky to have done a little bit better. That's fine. I would have liked to have seen Shirky do a little bit better, but there's nothing wrong with having a quiet debut where he could have had an assist, given the context we've discussed. It's fine. It's not a problem. So that's Shirky. That's just me defending Shirky. And if people keep having a go at him and saying shit like that in his debut season, then I have a thing where I try to where I feel like it's unfair. I latch onto and try to defend players who I think are getting unfair criticism and slander. So I'm going to become an even bigger Shirky fan if that keeps happening. So keep digging the hole, and I'll keep trying to fill that shit. Yeah. I'll get my cement mixer out. And I'll bury you in the hole, yeah? And that is a threat. And that is a threat. So that's a thing. Nobbins Shirky was having poor touches and overdoing simple things. It's his debut. Why does it matter? It's his debut. Who cares? He's allowed a quiet debut. He also did some good things as well. It's fine to have a nervy, not quite excellent debut. It's all good. Especially for these creative players, it's fine. It's all good. It's all good, it's all good, it's all good. We can't all be Reinders. We can't all be Reinders. We'll get on to Reinders. So yeah, so that's me on Shirky. And yeah, he was nervous, potentially. I don't know. I don't know what it was. But who cares? He had a quiet debut. It was fine. It's not a big deal. He's played 60 minutes of football for City in what is essentially a pre-season game. Let's not micro-analyse something that isn't there to be analysed, shall we? It's not necessary. We're not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater here. We're not going to say, oh, that means Shirky's shit. that means Pep's not going to trust him. That means he's not going to play him. We're not going to do that. Shirky's going to be fantastic for City. Believe in him. He's going to be very good and very lovely. I truly believe that. He's a wonderful footballer. Let's chill. There will be an analysis video. I don't know exactly when, though. Not by the end of this week, because the Reinders video took longer than I thought, because I kept changing my script. So maybe like mid next week. Certainly the end of next week. We'll find out, though. I'll work on it a lot this weekend, but these videos take a long time, so please have patience, guys. It'll hopefully be worth the wait. If you thought the Reinders video was worth the wait, this will also be worth the wait. Trust. So yeah, that's Shirky. We're going to keep defending him. If this channel turns into the CDL, the Shirky Defense League, then so fucking be it. Yeah? Then so be it. It's going to be a thing. It's not a problem. I don't mind doing that. Before I move on, let me just catch up on what you guys have been saying. The Marmouche dilemma. Yeah, we're touching that South Act, definitely. I hope we get Shirky and Haaland together next game. So Pep said, didn't he? Pep said something like, I'm basically going to swap the entire starting 11 apart from like one or two. So I don't think that will happen. I think that we'll see everyone apart from like Reinders getting a rest. Apart from that, I think there'll be a mass rotation, and then maybe for the Juve game, a combination of the first two teams will play. Something like that. Foden will play a deeper role. In the Club World Cup, AP? Can you tell me the quote, please? That'd be interesting to know. It was a stupid question, and that's why I felt the need to address it straight away, because sadly, this is like something that people keep talking about. Oh yeah, we didn't even touch on him out of possession. Yeah, we'll get onto that before we move on. Absolutely. Yeah, I was critical of his first half performance. Defensively, on ball, he was fine. Defensively, I was a bit critical of his first half performance. But second half, I think he sorted himself out. So I do agree, Cody. It just needs time to adapt. Yeah, exactly. I always give new sign. I don't care what level they are or what level of seniority or how old they are, whatever. I will always give a new signing at least a season. I don't care. I do not care. I will always give a new signing at least one season. Or I will always give let's say they have a good first season and then a subpar next season. I'll give them a season to be subpar, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. Before I start thinking, oh, is this a problem? Or, is he actually that good? Or is he the right fit for City, whatever? In the same way that if you got a new manager, I'd like to see a manager given at least a whole season, first of all. So that's the way I'm viewing it. Totally agree with you, the Citizen. We just need to chill. 100%. 100%. Sorry, let me catch up. Expectations too high, says Hydro. Yeah, I mean, I know we should have won like 5-0 to be fair, because Foden should have scored another goal. Haaland should have scored a goal. Doku should have scored a goal or passed it to Foden, who would have had an open net. It could have been 5-0, but yeah, this was never going to be like 10-0 or whatever. Was it 12-0, 10 or 12-0? Whatever the Auckland game was, because they're not professionals. These guys did win the African Champions League a few years ago. Like, we're not playing against a bunch of plumbers and lawyers here. They are still professionals. So yeah, I think if people had that expectation, then that's crazy. Hey, if people keep dissing Shirky, and once again, there's a big difference between fair criticism. I think we've been fair here. It's okay to say he was fine. I may have liked to have seen more, but I can understand the context of maybe why not. It's not fair to say he was shit and bad and now I'm questioning the signing. That's unfair. There's nothing wrong with fair criticism. There is something wrong with that leaning into mental idiocy, and that's what we are defending against. So if that keeps happening, Mad Hatter, I will absolutely be El Presidente of El Defendo Liga de Shirky. Oh god. Exactly, Dave. Exactly. And Al Ain, I'm sure that's going to be a battering. That would be ideal. To be honest. Sorry, AP, did you say something about Foden's deeper role? Pep said we have a lot of 10s and suggested next season will be a different role for Foden. Can you give me a quote, please? Because that's very interesting. Or can you like tag me in it on Twitter, please? If anyone can find that, I'd be very interested to know what he said. Can Doku Marmoush... This is a great question. And this is something that I was looking into, because if Doku starts nearly every single time Doku starts for City and Marmoush starts for City, if Haaland's also playing, Pep tends to play Marmoush off the right, and Marmoush can't do that based on sample size. There's been one game, I think, where Marmoush has played well when both Doku and Haaland have been on the pitch. I think that was against Brighton. I think. So they can. It's just very difficult. It's just very difficult to satisfy all of them. Because again, Pep keeps tending to have Marmoush popping off the right. And that's not... that he's ineffective there. Based on what we've seen so far. Pep's trying out different systems. Yash, definitely. Definitely. Turn off the blind. Right, well, you can't turn off a blind because it's not something to turn off and on. You can close a blind, but secondly, I need the blinds open because I need the window open. And yes, I am very bright because this camera's used to having a certain room, but hey, it's hot, guys. Heck, you can tell by the tank. I don't know what that's based on. Yeah, they're amateur, exactly. Where else? Doshiki's first game didn't do as most expected. Pissing off people blaming Foden. But what? I haven't even seen that, and I feel like I can't even get into that as a concept because that's just going to make me angry. Deary me. Deary me. Where are we? That would be me, Ash as well. I'd throw Shirky in there as well, personally. We'll see. KJ, stop. So before we go on to Jack, it depends. It depends. Because right now, the external temperature is cooler than the inside. Because my house is in the highest tier for insulation. So I agree with you, but it depends on the temperature outside. Also, there's a slight breeze coming in. No, AC is not prevalent in the UK. Yeah, so the outer possession as well. Now, I think we actually said it in the sort of like the first touchline talk when the Shirky links were properly picking up, and we touched on the outer possession pressing work from Shirky. One of the things that we did say together was Shirky and Marmoush as a front two is actually quite fine because you've got Marmoush, who is an incredibly intense off-ball player, and if there is any lack of intensity from Shirky, then that's mitigated. The concern, in the same way that you could have Foden and Haaland, you can have Marmoush and Haaland. If you wanted, you could probably have Foden and Shirky as well, if you really wanted. I still believe there may be an issue if we had Haaland and Shirky leading the press as that front two. I still think that. I did like Shirky's intensity in moments when he jumped. He was incredibly aggressive, like where he... I don't think he directly forced it. The thing was actually just the player made an error. But Shirky sprinted, slid in, the player miscontrolled it, and then Doku picks it up. Doku had to pass it to Foden, who was rushing in. Doku missed a one-on-one. That was technically caused by Shirky's pressing. Okay, maybe more so the error, but still it happened. So there were definitely moments where it was really nice. There were other moments where it wasn't maybe as intense as you would want it to be. But once again, the heat, the context, everything is not too much of a problem. I still believe that I would like one, what I would deem intense presser, and maximum one, what I would deem not as intense presser. That's not a problem for me. So that allows you lots of combinations. That allows you Haaland Foden, Haaland Marmoush, Haaland Savio if you really wanted. Because sometimes Savio's played at the striker, hasn't he? Shirky Marmoush, Shirky Savio, Shirky Foden, and so on and so on. That's not a problem. There's lots of combinations that work. I still don't know if I'm convinced that Haaland and Shirky as my pressing two would be ideal. But I agree with you, Musty. From what I saw, I liked the bursts, and that's fine. It's not a problem. This idea that he's lazy off the ball isn't true at all. We've hopefully debunked that. It's not unfair to say that he's not as intense as Foden, Marmoush, Savio, whoever. That's not a problem. It's not a problem. It's so long as he's partnered with the correct player, and that was Marmoush, so it's not a problem. Last Panda 42 has just followed the Twitch. The real ones follow the Twitch. It's twitch.tv/LNobbins. The link is in every single video description. Go be a real one. Go do what Last Panda just did. Go follow the Twitch, yeah? Streaming every single Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evening. Currently doing Red Dead Redemption 2. I might also, because we had like a 20-minute chat at the end of the stream where we just bullshitted about City. So I don't know if I'll like introduce some just chatting streams as well, where we just have like a really informal chinwag. Although I guess these are technically also that, but I don't know. We'll see. Love that from you, Mad Hatter. Where are we up to? Yeah, exactly, Kazoo. Nico Williams, yeah, I saw that. That was quite funny. That was a Freudian slip, was it? Question mark. Here we go. Pep Guardiola hints a new City role for Foden in the 25-26 season. This was the heading of that City Extra article. Please, can you tag me in it, AP, on Twitter if you don't mind, so I can read it later. That'd be great. Thank you so much. That'd be really wonderful. Oh, there you go. Now you're gonna believe us. 93. Big up to you for following the Twitch. Nobbins After Dark. And Nowhere as well. Thank you, guys. Yeah, exactly. And also watch the Twitch as well, of course. As I say, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evenings. Big up to you, Razad. I did use the horse clip. Oh, sorry, you're thinking of the other one. Oh, yeah, I can use that one as well. Yeah, so that was Shirky. Chill. Chill on Shirky. Yeah? Do not make me start the CDL. Do not make me start that shit. Because I'll do it. Don't make me pay a lot of money, even more money, and go get a Shirky emote in protest. I'll do it. It'll be like he'll be holding his. No, he can't really hold his balls, can he? Because it'd just be like the upper bit. He'll be like doing the middle finger or something. We'll make it animated as well. Yeah. And every time it does something right, we'll whip that out. Yeah, we'll whip it out. So that's Shirky. Yeah. So how about like the overall shape of City and how did the City actually play? So it was a out of possession 4-2-4. Oh yeah, we're touching Reinders, don't you worry. Out of possession 4-2-4, and this is another way that I think that you can like mitigate any potential weaknesses for Shirky off ball, if indeed you believe there are any, because it forces, if you're committing 4 bodies to the press rather than let's say 2 or 3, obviously you're putting more pressure on the opposition defenders. Now the issue was Wydad just kept going long, and that left Hayes isolated 1v1 too often, and that's not really his game. And of course, as exciting as fun on ball as Reinders and Foden are as a double pivot, that is that's about as frail as it can be just for the two of them. Like Reinders is not a defensive midfielder. He can obviously do it in a pinch. We've obviously seen that. He is an 8 at the end of the day, so it's not like it's a massively mystery position, but to just throw Foden in there as well, rather than like someone like Nico or Rodri. Of course, we're going to be susceptible to long balls over the top, and of course, the defense aren't going to have the proper protection. So it's no surprise that we got hit on the counter a number of times. It's no surprise our defense was put under pressure a number of times. I'm not going to view that as a concern because we are almost definitely never going to see those two on their own ever again. If they had natural DM with them, Rodri, then it's a beautiful time had by all. But the two of them trying to lock it down, the midfield on their own, is clearly not a thing. It's not on Twitter, it's the City Extra website. I want to look at this article. Sorry, guys. I'm going to just... allow me. Let me Google this. City Extra. Pep Guardiola hints at new role for Foden. Here we go. 24 hours ago. Beautiful. Right. I will read that later. Thank you guys very much. That's by Freddie Pyer. Big up to Freddie Pyer. or Freddie Pie. Not Pyra. There's no R in it. Idiot. Big up Freddie Pie, who's written that. That was only yesterday, so I'll have a read of that later. Thank you very much, AP. Love that from you. Not all heroes and all that. Need an emote for this. Stop. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so it was a 4-2-4, as I say. Defense were exposed. It's fine. Once again, we're experimenting. It's not a problem. It's all good. Yeah, Reinders, we've had a bit of a bad thing with the Shoki situation. Let's now do Reinders. I know I'm going to go against everything I've just said here. The difference is that what you saw against Wydad, that is just what Reinders is. Trust me, guys. Trust me, bro. That is just what Reinders is. It's not being reactive to look at that performance and go, oh my god, what a signing we have, because I know that is just his level. That was just a standard Reinders performance, to be honest with you, based on like last season. That's what we should expect to be seeing on a weekly basis. He is just that good. We know that we needed more passers in the side. I know it didn't come to anything, but that lovely little slip that he did into, or tried to slip into Doku, absolutely, that is a classic Rodri. That is a classic Rodri type ball to try to hit. Once again, I know it didn't quite work out, but it was so close to being there. He was my man in the match. I thought it was fantastic, and also defensively as well. Now, is Pep going to trust Reinders as like the chief defensive midfielder, the chief six, in a game that has relevance and matters? No, obviously not. He's not. We're not going to rock up at the Emirates. I mean, unless we're in a mental injury crisis, we're not going to rock up to the Emirates or to Anfield or to the Bernabeu, wherever, and play Reinders as our chief defensive midfielder. It ain't happening. But the point is that he can technically do it in a pinch. He could probably do it in the easier games at home. And I would like to see him actually do that a bit more, because that's what Gundogan was able to do longer term. So it would be nice if he can add that string to his bow. Then he's an even better player than actually considered. But obviously he's a more attacking 8 than a more defensive one. But that game, again, I know it's only Wydad, but that did once again illustrate that he's got the defensive attributes City's midfield needs. People saying he's not a good defender, he's not a good defensive player in the midfield. Just a hard disagree. Oh, I don't care he's in the bottom 2% for tackling. He doesn't need to tackle to win the ball back. He can press, he can intercept, he can win second balls and loose balls. It's not a problem. It's not a problem for Reinders. He's very good at cleaning up stuff like that as well. As I say, his intercepting numbers are fantastic, and just the way he's able to intercept is brilliant. And he's not going to be the 6 for City. He's going to nearly every single game be accompanied by one of Rodri or Nico G. It's not a problem. The only thing with Reinders was I thought he was a bit bigger. Well, he's a bit lanky, I guess. Do you mean bigger in like bulk? He's not a player who, despite his height, he's over 6 foot. He is bad in the air. That is worth noting. Like, he's shit in the air. His aerial doors numbers is like really, really low. So it's really poor. Like Gundogan's shorter than him, and he's better in the air than him from like a defensive perspective. But once again, that's not really how Reinders likes to compete. I hate this boss. Wait, Spartacus, what's that? That's not really how he wants to like compete for those anyway. He wants to try to like nudge you in the back and win it like that. So it's not a problem. Big assassin taller? I think he's quite tall, to be fair. I feel like he is anyway. I feel like he's quite lanky, quite gangly, so it makes him look taller as well. He's not a defensive liability. Don't worry about it, guys. Rodri and Reinders, if we're playing a 2 out of possession, that should be the go-to 2. Definitely. I would personally go for a 3, but if we are going for a 2, that 2, name me a better midfield duo than those 2. Overall, not just off-ball, just like generally. I don't think you can. It's early days. Again, this is assuming Rodri comes back and is the player he is. Rodri's the best 6 in the world. Reinders is already one of the best 8s in the world. It's not a problem. It's not a problem at all. Not defensive. There's no defensive concerns there for me. There's lots of good passing ability. goal work, whether it's crashing the box, shooting outside the box. Rodri can win those aerial duels that Reinders can't. He can also just win those ground duels that Reinders can't necessarily. Reinders and Rodri together are great in respect of second balls and loose balls. Reinders can go up a level there, by the way. He can improve there. So again, that's maybe something to add to his game. But if you give him like a more stable defensive base, like he had with AC Milan with Fofana, you're going to see an even better version of Reinders. So I'm not going to say I'm surprised at the performance, because I was well aware that he was that good. It's just nice to see it visually, isn't it? Oh, Elden Ring, fair Spartacus. It's just nice to see it. Do you know what I mean? So that's nice. Just to have that confirmed and for everyone to go, oh, wow, yeah, he is actually pretty sick, isn't he? So, yeah, that's a good thing. I don't know why we haven't appealed it, but I suspect it's because he was not going to start anyway, because Pep said we're going to rotate everyone, so I don't think it's annoying, but it doesn't really matter, ultimately. Do I think Rodri's prime is behind him? It's far too early to tell. Far too early to tell. Look, I'd be surprised if he had another Ballon d'Or year. So if you want to say that he's peaked, I don't think that's unreasonable. But we're obviously going to have to wait and see. If he even comes back and is even 80% of the player that he was, he's still the best defensive midfielder in the world. That's not a problem for me. He did look rusty. He looked like a player who's just been out for a whole season due to an ACL. Not surprising. But he also had some decent moments as well. Like that little slip ball he did in around, what was it, the 70th to 80th minute, something like that. There were still some really nice moments there as well, and there were some tidy actions. Once again, did give it away sometimes. Did look blunt. Did look rusty. Fine. He's been out for a whole season. It makes sense. Makes sense. One surprise has please. Yeah, definitely. Excuse me. But Raphael, he's only played 60 minutes, mate. Why are you concerned? He's only played like 60 minutes for a new club in a pre-season tournament. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. What do I expect from the City Juve match? I hope we beat them. I want to finish top. Yeah, that. To be fair, yeah, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that. Yeah, as with Shirky, as with Aitnori, as with all of our players, we sort of need to have a modicum of patience here. A modicum of patience. We need to vibe. That's what I'm saying, Spartacus, yeah. Oh my god, Rodri didn't look his old self. Nah, mate, he looks like he's been out for a whole season. This is me checking my notes. Oh! He was out for a whole season. And water is wet. It's not a problem. Not a problem to me. Yeah, innit, Musty? What a fraud. What a fraudster. This is a good point as well, Dave, because a big concern about the Reinders signing, was... yes, Mitchell, it is. Was... Oh, Rodri's going to have to do all the defensive work on his own again. That's just not true, because Reinders is absolutely going to be able to help carry some of that burden. He literally played in the midfield too with AC Milan. And Fofana is not the best defensive midfielder in the world, so it's not a problem. Reinders is a very good runner. He's very quick. He's going to help with those recoveries, those second balls. He's not going to leave Rodri isolated on an island. It's not a problem. He's going to have less responsibility from a creative perspective as well. That's something I analysed in my analysis video. That Reinders on ball can be this deep-lying playmaker. Absolutely he can. So it's not a concern. It's not a problem. And yeah, Nico Gonzalez as well. He's also going to be a very good partner for Rodri. It's going to be so funny when we see Rodri and Nico start some games together, and then you've got the pack of people who said, oh, well, Nico is a pure Rodri replacement, and then you're never going to see them play together. I can't wait for that to happen. I'm going to do a really arsey, sarky I told you so tweet when that happens. When. Not the conditional if, the imperative when. Yeah? None of this shit. Side note, these people, what do they really think Nico's going to start sub 10 Premier League games next season? Do you really think that? Really? Okay. An interesting take to have. Yeah, great in defense. Absolutely. Bob's looking like he's getting back to his old self. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Foden looked good. Absolutely. Again, in a slightly different role. Of course, he won us the game, which is nice. I just liked his game overall, though. Once again, people are trying to micro-analyze what doesn't need to be analyzed. Like, someone said, why didn't Foden pass it forwards here? And I looked at the clip, and there is not even a second to react to what he's wanting Foden to do. And the only way it would have worked by a fucking biomechanics perspective, I can't speak, by a biomechanical perspective, is if he did it like with the outside of his fucking right foot. It's like, what are we doing here? Big up to Thomas Cook. Is that the Thomas Cook who used to sponsor Man City? People just like to complain over nothing. And they like to like take clips and slow them down and go, oh, you see, well, this could have happened. Right, but it couldn't, could it, Pet? So shut up. Thank you, Harsh. Love that from you. Nico's a young Rodri. Yeah. They'll play together, guys. They'll play together. Nico is more of an 8, definitely. Certainly based on his Porto career, anyway. That's what I'm saying, Musty. Yeah, it's mad. Of all the places you sign at 25, I'd want Nico at Liverpool. Especially if you're going to make him hold the bench. He'll start sometimes, Ollie. Don't you worry. Like, look, there'll be some games where it's Rodri and Reinders. There'll be some games where it's Reinders and Nico. There'll be some games where it's all three of them. And combinations therein. There will be enough game time to go around, and they will all start in different things. Like, Reinders isn't going to start 38 games for City. Even like Rodri's not going to start 38 games in the league next season for City. There will be chances for rotation. There'll be plenty of games to go around. It's not a problem to me. It's not a problem. Plenty of options. And who knows, if after I read this article, who knows, maybe Foden will be included in there as well, because the title of this article is Pep Guardiola hints at City a new role for Foden. And hey, if that is the case, then I'm getting my dream, because I've been saying for however long that I think that if you ask me what is Foden's peak position, I think it's one where he's allowed to play slightly deeper. We shall see if that is the case, though. Sometimes you can't, in fact, often you can't give a player exactly what they should have. You can't facilitate that necessarily. If it's better for the team for Foden to play slightly more advanced, then that has to happen, doesn't it? As long as it's not a position or role which is detriment to them, then it's a detriment to them, then it's absolutely fine. Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me if for the biggest game, again, there's something I touched on in my video, I think for most games, this would be overkill, but why can't you have, again, let's say that you've, I don't know, let's say that you are in the first leg, it's a quarter-final or a semi-final of the Champions League. Your first leg is away from home. You basically just want to make sure you don't lose the match, because you know that you've got the home leg. So you want to try to be as defensively solid as possible. You could easily have all three of Rodri, Nico, and Reinders together. You could just have Reinders as the more attacking player. You can sacrifice, a Marmoush or a Foden or a Cherki for a bit more solidity. That's not a problem either. It's good to have options. You can have a more attacking side, you can have a more balanced side, you can have a more defensive side. You need all of these players to have a balanced midfield. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. Biggest weakness, lack of recovery pace from Diaz. In an ideal world, I would like to, I'd give Diaz Kasanov's pace, because I do take your point there. I do agree with that. Nah, he's had one, and he's looking fresh, to be fair. Once again, I'm the biggest Foden haircut hater. The biggest hater, yeah? This new one's looking good. No club can come close to City in the midfield area. Now, yeah, our midfield's absolutely heaving. It's heaving. I think it's the best starting midfield in the world, and it's the best squad midfield in the world as well. And that's good, because last season, none of our midfielders got anywhere near the team of the season, which is mad, because nearly every single team of the season from the past however many years I would make a very strong argument that all three of them, or all four of them, or whatever, however many are in it. Normally it's like a 4-3-3, isn't it, in these ones? I'd say all three of those positions should probably be a City player, because City's strength has always been the midfield. They might not get all the players in the defence or in the attack, but the midfield's something you can always rely on for a Pep City side. And last season, we obviously did not have that. We need to get back to that. We have gotten back to that. We'll see if we add anyone else. Razad, mate, we're going to have a fight. We're going to have a fight, I tell you that. I know. The thing is, AP, I think it's because I'd love to know the data on this. I would suspect that City have, and this isn't me having a go, obviously, based on success, and this is natural, I would suspect City have a lot of young fans, basically. And by young, I mean sort of like the impressionable age, like teenagers, that sort of thing. And I even include young as early 20s as well. I'd suspect City have a lot of those fans. Now, again, this isn't a blanket statement, but generally speaking, that age profile of human is very susceptible to the influence of others, I would say. I sound like a massive uncle here, but hopefully you take my points here. I think a lot of these young City fans are being influenced by what they see online from people who don't like City and don't want them to do well, and they don't like their players. So they accept their critiques and they accept them as their own. And then there's a lot of confirmation bias that happens as well. And now it's set in stone. I believe that. That's the only conclusion I can really think of, because it doesn't make logical sense what these people are saying. That's all I can really think of there. That might be a bullshit theory, but that's my theory. Excuse me. This guy. Yeah, hashtag, get it trending, guys. Hashtag no Dorigo. No Dorigo. Oh, dear. Don't think so, Boosk. Don't think so. The reason why he would always start was because there was never a player who could cover for him. Gundogan did cover for him, to be fair, so that's also not true. But the reason why he played all the time, like the season before last, was because there was no one who could really do the job. Now you've got a partnership of Nico and Reinders, and now you can give Rodri an actual rest in the easier games. Like home against a relegation-threatened side, home against a lower mid-table side. I'd expect Rodri to start like 30-ish Premier League games next season, there or thereabouts. Because especially considering the injury. I think both wingers look good in all honesty. I think there were some good performances that we could pick out. It is fresh, absolutely. This guy. Let's add Gibbs White. I would personally love to go in for Gibbs White after the Club World Cup ends. You guys know my immediate reaction to Gibbs White. I was a bit down about it, and I thought he's a good player, and that's where it ends for me. However, now that I know we've already got obviously locked in Reinders and Shirky and Aït-Nouri, I'm more than happy to accept him and his level. I think it actually makes a lot of sense, particularly if we got rid of Gundo and or Kova and or Bernardo. Bernardo's not happening right now, seemingly. Maybe next season when all three of those hopefully move on. This guy. This fucking guy. Hashtag no Dorigo, yeah, big up. Generally speaking, younger people tend to be more reactive because they don't have enough life experience to know. Exactly, Spartacus. You've sort of hit the nail on the head there. Yeah, so we've touched on out of possession shit. I've caught up on the chat now. We've touched on out of possession. In possession was the double inverting fullbacks. We don't really see that from City with Nico and Rico going into the midfield. I personally don't like that from a rest defense perspective. I'd be very surprised if we saw that throughout the season. I think that was just a means to an end because Pep wanted to start a lot of his attacking players. And how we set up next year will depend on if any other players come in. The key one is, can we bring in a starting attacking right back or a player who can hold the width out on the right? If we can, then that's lovely. That is lovely. It did indeed, Fox and Gaming indeed. This was another one. Where has the Marmouche hate come from all of a sudden? Is it just because he missed that penalty in the FA Cup final? Because I can't keep up. I tell you what, if I was a hater of our players, I would not be able to keep up with these trends of who I should be hating right now. I would not. Right, okay, so we're hating Foden. Okay, now we hate Haaland. Oh, God, now it's Gavadio. And now it's Doku. And Savio. Oh, God, now it's McAtee. Oh, now I'm propping Echeverry. Oh, now I'm hating Marmouche. Now it's Cherki. What is happening? Where has this come from? Someone was saying... I saw someone on Twitter say that he's not fast. He's slow or something. What's happening? What's going on? It's been really good for City. Why are City fans getting on his back? What's going on? He was playing a fucking position that wasn't even his the other day. He's not a lone nine. Why are we asking him to do that? What's happening? I don't get it. Why are we having a go at my favourite player? Stop it. Don't make me start the MDL. Fucking Marmouche Defence League. We'll do it. Maybe it should just be like the BDL, the Baller Defence League, just to encompass all of these players. Am I going to have to start multiple organisations here? Am I going to start multiple organisations to defend the players that I want, that I think are very good? Is that actually what's happening right now? What's happening? What's going on? Ollie, it's mad. Yeah. Isn't it? It's like, right, defend him. Defend him, get rid of him, throw him away. And this was something that I wanted to touch on now. I briefly mentioned it at the start. Something I want to do now. It is this, and again, this is the point of reactivism. It is this point of new thing. Once again, apologies to sound like I'm being an old man and I'm shitting on the younger generations. I promise I'm not. But it is, because also, like, older people are liable to this. Well, I mean, boomers are the worst for always being on their phone. But I think what it is it's the TikTok generation of video. That's not even the right way to scroll, is it? You can tell I don't use TikTok. You know that. Video, dopamine. I've got this player. Now I want a new player. I got this player. I want a new player. I want a new puppy. I want a new puppy. I want a new puppy. New thing. Shiny toy. I'm a magpie. Shiny toy. I'm a magpie. Scroll. Hit. Brain. How does this translate? What am I talking about here? How does this translate into football in this season? De Bruyne's wash. Right, okay, Foden. Foden's been shit this season. Okay, McAtee. Gotta be McAtee. McAtee's the one, man. McAtee's the one. Give Foden all of McAtee's... give McAtee all of Foden's minutes. Do that right now. McAtee does well against Leicester. You see? If we just started McAtee more, wouldn't he be great? Start McAtee. McAtee started. See, McAtee's shit. Get rid of him. Sell him. Never liked him. Never rated him. Okay. Get Foden back in. He's still not interested, actually. Fuck that. How about Echeverry? Echeverry. Why is he playing Echeverry? Echeverry's the best player in the world. Echeverry. Echemessi. Blah, blah, blah. I can't even speak. Why isn't he playing him? He'd solve all our problems. Sign Wirtz. I know we just conceded 5 goals to Arsenal, but sign Wirtz. He'd help us there. Oh, now Bob. Now I want Wirtz. And now I want Cherki. Oh, I don't want Cherki now. Get me someone else. Try Bob there. Try Reinders there. I can't keep up with these people. It's just non-stop barrage of shite and dwank. And I blame it on this. Sorry, I sound like such an old man there. But that's all I can really think of, this shiny new toy syndrome. I can't remember if I said it or if I just thought it. I definitely said it about Echeverry. I can't remember if I thought it. I can't remember if I said it about Cherki. I definitely thought it. Again, I said it about Echeverry. How long until our fans get bored of Cherki if he doesn't hit the ground running massively? and starts fucking tearing up shit immediately? How long until Echeverry gets some game time and people, because he's not as good as people think, and then people realise, oh, actually he's a bit shit, sell him, whatever. How long till like Bob has a couple bad games in a row, and people go, aye, Bob's not the one either. How long until, oh, well, I was going to say how long until it happens to Haaland, but it happened last season. People are saying get rid of him. So that's the example. It's already happened. Very frustrating. That's a rant. So I don't really apologise, but, you know. I do think that is a thing. I do think that is the explanation. It's got to be, hasn't it? Always want the new thing. Always want the new thing. And these people, they don't care about the season. They care about the transfer window. Every single time. I see it in the chat. We're like nowhere near a transfer window. Oh, transfer window. If these people had it their way, it would just be the football would just be a non-stop stock market of hoarding players. Just weird. It's weird. It's bizarre. And I get it, social media generation, whatever. But just like do better. Just do better. It's too better. I can't be bothered. I'm not entertaining another season of this on this channel. I will tell you that right now. I'm going to be even more of a fascist on this channel. I'll tell you that right fucking now. Yeah. Anyway, does anyone else want to rant whilst we're here? I'll be here for another 20 minutes or so. Anything else that you want me to talk about? I think we've spoken enough about the game, but let me know if there's like a player that I've not spoken about, or a setup thing that I haven't spoken about, or just anything in general. Let me know what topics that you want us to touch on these final 20 minutes or so. I think we've covered basically everyone. We covered the attack. I haven't really touched on the wingers. I did a throwaway comment. I thought the wingers played quite well. And yeah, we beat Wydad. Fine. Good. Lovely. I think we're currently second in the group. So we will, I mean, I expect us to batter the next side. So we will have to beat Juventus to top the group. I don't see why we can't do that. We'll see, of course. And then is it we play Al Hilal or Real Madrid if we top the group, something like that. I think that's what you guys said. Quick thought on Gahey replacing Kwanzaa are your biggest rivals. It's annoying, Ollie, because it's a good signing. Nunes given another chance in midfield. Here's the agreement that I would have with Nunes. As soon as you stop making errors leading to goal and horrendous passes at right back, I'll give you a go in midfield. That's the first, because if you can't hack it passing wise at right back, then it's not a thing. It's not a thing. Oh, speaking of Time Bomb, Go for Gold, the band who do the intro music, they very kindly let me use their music for my intros. They released a new song called Time Bomb, so expect the next Touchline talk to be of that. Maybe we'll end the stream. I'll put that on maybe, because I think it's a banger. It's not my favourite one of theirs, but it's certainly up there. Can we take a look at who meets who? I don't even know is that information. No, it should be easy to find, right? If I type in Club World Cup, sometimes Google does a thing. Knockout. Here we go. So no, it just says TBD. Oh, for fuck's sake! I'm sure there is something. FIFA Club World Cup brackets. There's got to be something. Right, come on, ESPN. Don't let me down. Round of 16. Right, so what group are we in? Can we say that we're going to win our group, guys? Can we let's hopefully be confident there, yeah? What group are we in? Group G. What a dusty letter that is. Fucking G. Don't give me that shit. Where's the D at? Hello? Anyway, G. Winners of Group G play runners-up of Group H. Is that the Real Madrid one? Yes, it is. So we will play the runners-up of the Real Madrid group if we win our group. What other teams might be interesting to look at? I don't even know. I forgot Chelsea run the competition, won't lie to you. If PSG become runner-up, because they're not top right now, are they? What happens if they come runner-up? Who do the runners-up of Group B play? Runners-up of Group B play the winners of Group A. Well, that's a shit group anyway. That's Al Ahly, Inter Miami, Palmeiras, and Porto. So it doesn't really, it doesn't even matter if they finish as runners-up PSG. So that's a bit boring. Oh well. Yeah, absolutely, they can. If you wanted the most stable out of possession pivot, then that's the one. That is the one. Lou says, as a mod on another channel, I've been trying to figure out if I'm just walking away or going to immediately tell people with terrible takes. Yeah, it's just boring, isn't it? In an ideal world, I would not do any censorship at all, and I would allow freedom of expression and freedom of opinion. The problem is that opinions are like arseholes. I don't want to see your arsehole, and I don't want to see your opinion either. Therein lies the problem. Do you know what I mean? It's crusty and full of shit. That applies to either an arsehole or a fucking opinion, by the way. So it's a tricky one, isn't it? It's a tricky one, Lewis. It is a balancing act, definitely. Sometimes I just try to ignore or not read out comments, but it's very tricky because I'm not someone who can let shit go. I will challenge, and I will call people up on their bullshit. So it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. Proudly fascist. I don't want to be a fascist, but it's tricky. It is tricky, you know. Spartacus, chill, mate. No, I'm not in Romania. Not in Romania right now. I don't need to be. Big up Channel 5. Big up Channel 5 for having it without the fucking DAZN delay. Pet Symmetry. Go for Gold S. Do you like Go for Gold, Peasy, by the way? GC to beat Juve? Yeah, definitely. PSG are holding 4 against Seattle Sounders. They aren't an issue. I know I'm one of those few fans who are advocating for Foden to wear that number 10 at City next season. If he's open to it, I think he should be the one getting it. I like the 47 because the 47 has meaning to him, doesn't it? And he wants it's to honour his granddad. So I'm fine for him to have that. To be honest, I get where you're coming from. I'd just like to give it to Shirky though at this point. I'm sorry about that, Car. I'm sorry. That is a good analogy though, isn't it? That is a good analogy though. It's a thing. Yeah, exactly. It's a number that means a lot to him. So I like it. I like it when players have a story like that, and it means something to them. It's pretty chill. It's pretty chill, and it lets someone else have like that number. It also means he's more like sentimental than arrogant. He's not like, oh, I need the number 10 or I'm not going to be happy. It's like, I'd rather have the number that means something to me personally. So I'm quite happy with him having 47. And again, it's unique. Has there ever been like a competent footballer with 47? It's not a number that I know, really. So I like that. I like that. Tension might be cursed. Hello? It's only had like one person after Aguero left it. No, am I missing someone? Isn't it just Grealish who's had it? I don't think that counts as a curse. We've had Dzeko and Aguero before then. Loads of other great players before then. There's karma. See, I'd just like to retire this. I won't lie. I'd just like to retire that. I don't mind the number 4 because that is old school. That is old school. Like in English football, the number 4 was the defensive midfielder. Again, I know Ryan isn't that, but still, I don't mind that at all. Oh gosh, Nunes wasn't renowned for dreadful passes. What's gone wrong? I don't know. I think there is concentration. I think there might just be some nerves as well. maybe some an inferiority complex as well, perhaps. I don't think that Pep calling him an idiot, basically calling him an idiot who can't play in midfield, has helped either. That's probably in his head also. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. Yeah, I think I agree, the Citizen. I think I agree. Jack, we are going to have a fight, you and me. And one of us is going to get battered. One of us is getting battered. I'm not saying who, but one of us is getting battered. I love that from you, Donna. Thoughts on Rico's future at City? Would you bother keeping him? Yeah, definitely keep him. He's an option at right back if you need to invert, and he's an option in midfield. If he's happy being a squad player, definitely keep him, 100%. I don't think he's ever going to be good enough to start consistently and play, like, you know, start 30-plus league games for City. I don't think he'll ever be a first choice. I think that for a Nico O'Reilly as well, but that's not necessarily a problem. You need these sorts of players. You need these sorts of players in the squad. I'd definitely keep him. Definitely. Yeah, exactly. Now, that 9 is actually fucked, man. I remember doing a TikTok on it ages ago, and, like, you know, when I was in the meme phase. And yeah, the amount of shit 9s they've had is a bit insane. I wouldn't mind giving 10 to Shirky, definitely. If we do end up signing Rodrigo, actually, I'm going to go into hiding. I'm going to go into hiding, because I can't... No, in all honesty, if we did sign him, I'm going to back him, obviously. I'd want him to succeed. My concerns would still be there, and I would need to be proven wrong. But, yeah, we'll see. Grish 69, crazy. Yeah, I agree, should have the 10. Sell him. Grealish, yeah, he should be getting sold, shouldn't he? He should probably be getting sold. Guys, there's 250 thereabouts watching, and yet I'm not even on 150 likes. Pay rent. Click that like button. That's the way I want you guys to see it. This is your daily check-in. Pay rent, or you're getting kicked out of your fucking accommodation. Yeah? Pay rent, click the like button. It's free, and it helps other people see the channel. We can hopefully grow as a community. Keep question for the means, this fucking guy. Anything else do we want to chat about? We've got around 10 minutes or so before I want to shoot off. What else do we want to have a chat about? Any final questions or final thoughts? I think we've covered basically everything in respect to that first match. We've learned some stuff, but I don't know if, like, again, I feel like we're more on the side of not learning that much than learning stuff. Don't take these games as gospel. Exactly, Kazoo, exactly. Hayes. Oh, Hayes, yes. So I thought that on ball, I didn't have a problem with Hayes. In fact, I thought it was really nice and very competent. The first half, he did struggle. Defensively. I'm going to cut him a lot of slack here for the reasons that we have outlined. It's a preseason match. He hasn't played in a minute, so it's fine for him to look a little bit rusty. And he was consistently being left in a 1v1 situation because the team was not set up to support him. Second half, when the whole game got a lot slower, I think he just looks a lot better naturally as well. So we did sort of shaft him a bit in that first half by putting him into that situation over and over and over again. I would have liked to have seen him deal with it a bit better, but it's not a problem to me. Again, on balance, across the whole 90 minutes, I actually thought he was okay. I thought he was quite fine. I thought it was quite fine, particularly on ball. Once again, first half, wasn't happy with the defending work there, but overall, I thought it was absolutely fine. Love that from you, Mitchell. If Grealish was around 30 mil, would you keep him in the current squad? If he costs 30 million, then he's not on 100 million pound wages, is he? So I'd be more tempted to keep him, but clearly something has happened between Pep and Grealish. He hasn't taken him to the Club World Cup. So that is beyond repair. So I don't think you can keep him. It seems to be like a João Cancelo situation where we've gone beyond the point of no return. there. Now, so Kusanov at right back. So I'm just going to reiterate like my thoughts on Kusanov at right back. In the first instance, if you want Kusanov at right back, you have to accept that he would have to play in a back three on ball, because he ain't going to push up and provide any offensive work. He's not going to be able to push up to the midfield. So the first thing you have to accept is that we would have to play a back three. I mean, same technically, you could do some sort of weird thing where a centre-back inverted and a left-back also inverted, but that'd be really weird. So let's just accept that you'd have to start with a back three. And he'd have to be the right centre-back. That's the first thing to say, because he's not going to provide anything going forwards. Rest defence, that's not a problem for me. That's fine. In fact, that's to his benefit, because now he can defend those channels in the transition. Not a problem. The problem arises out parking the negative offensive output. Parking that for a moment, even though that is an issue. We'll park that for a moment. I'm still not convinced. I don't really understand where it has come from, because people were even saying this before we signed him. I think because there's no way that people watched him, because he never played at right back. Oh my god, who did we sign? Lon. He never played at right back. So I don't know where the idea is that he can play at right back has come from before we even signed him. I appreciate Pep made a comment saying, oh, he's good because I think he can play at centre-back, right-back. Yeah, Pep also said that Sarri's Napoli was the greatest side he's ever come up against. So you'll have to forgive me if I'm not going to take that at face value. You can technically physically play there. Fine. That's a very different thing to... You'd want him to start there on a relatively consistent basis. Yeah, exactly, Xavi. All I can really assume is that people saw that clip that went round where he was starting in his own box, and then he got to... Sorry, he was starting in the opponent's box, and then he got to his own box with, like, no time in between. Because he does have fantastic recovery pace. That's not in dispute. The problem is that in order to play at fullback, you need a hell of a lot more than recovery pace. A hell of a lot more. He does not have every other attribute you would want a right back to have. He gets turned far too easily, for example, when it's 1v1 defending. I'll repeat, he is very good in a very specific defensive aspect, out wide, and that is if it's on the transition and he can just twat into you. Not a problem. But if you put him up against a proper winger on a consistent basis, he's going to struggle. Obviously. Because it's not his fault. This is the thing. This isn't me having a go at Kusanov, but I'm always wary of anyone who says, I want Kusanov to play at right back. And I go, why? Well, it's quick, innit? Right? And I think Spartacus just said it there. It's lovely to have that as a trait, but you also need the agility. You also need the turning speed. The fluid torso, as we've said before on this channel. You also need the awareness as well. He's not played at right back for long. I think the example that people gave me was, well, he played at right back against Arsenal. He came on for like 2 minutes. That is not the sample size. Ah, here's the trivia, Musty. Kusanov didn't actually score a goal. That was an own goal. That's the trivia. I might be making myself look like an idiot there. I'm pretty sure that goal was not actually his. I'm pretty sure that went down as an own goal. I'm willing to be proven wrong there, but that's my instinct. So yeah, that's my take on Kusanov at right back. He could do it in a pinch, but people are saying make him our starting right back, and I think that is insane, to be honest with you. I think that is insane. On ball, not a problem. Fine. Optimal, in fact. Optimal. Because he can push to right centre-back. Not a problem. Nothing going forwards. Not his fault. Remember the Real Madrid game? Provided literally nothing. Wait, the Leyton Orient goal? Wait, did he score against Leyton Orient? Oh my god, I thought you were talking about the long goal. I can't even remember that fucking game. I thought you were talking about the goal he scored for Lawn, which went down as an own goal. I apologise, Musty. I apologise. I read that situation horrendously wrong. That's my bad. Yeah, so those are my thoughts on Kusanov. Those are my thoughts. I don't think that he can do that. And Hayes as well. I confirmed to Spartacus, the resident Brazilian, because I've not properly scouted him yet, but I have watched enough of him to make a judgment. Yeah, Hayes at right back as well is not going to be a fun time based on the player he is right now. Spartacus. Yeah, the problem, as Spartacus has rightly pointed out, and I agree, is that you need to, and this is where Walker lacks a lot in fairness towards the end, you need to have an awareness of what is going on behind you, because wide players are going to make runs off you and behind you. Hayes is not good at understanding that, because he's a centre-back. Again, this isn't a dig. This is the player he is. Centre-backs don't necessarily have to worry about that as much as a right-back. Could he develop into that? Maybe. But the way people are talking about Hayes now is that, oh yeah, he can start at right back right now. In fact, let's do that right now. We don't need a right back. And you would still have the problem of, well, he's not going to provide anything going forwards, pushing up to the right wing. In another reality, maybe he could do a Stones in the Champions League final. But in general, it didn't happen. We need to view Hayes as a centre-back. We need to view Ake as even though he's played well left back, Ake centre-back. Gvardio now centre-back. Diaz centre-back. Bar centre-back. Let's sign a right-back to play right-back. And left-backs to play left-back. It was a fun experiment, and it worked for a moment. It was the right system at the right time, but we've moved on. We've moved on as a species. Arsenal still haven't, but the rest of us have. Hopefully, anyway. Big up to all my beautiful members and super chatters, by the way. If you want your name to be in this wonderful carousel of destiny, hit that join button or whatever. If you don't want to, if you don't want your face here, then don't worry about it. But, I mean, HSK, big up to HSK for the massive super chats, of course, but sort your fucking profile picture out. And again, we're being a fascist here. Dash, right, okay, we're naming and shaming. Dash, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. Musty, that's not good enough. Fireborn, that's not good enough. EA17, it's boring. That's not good enough. Yeah? Sort it out. Sort out your profile pictures. Make them interesting. For my face. For my eyes. Oh, just on this. Just like, I'm going to wrap up momentarily. Oh my word. We had some proper specimens in the most recent Ask Nobbins, sorry, the one before the most recent Ask Nobbins one. Some guy said, why do you call... I mean, I didn't even talk about Trent in this video, so I have no idea why this was even brought up. This guy said, why do you call Trent Alexander-Arnold? Trent, why are you doing that? I don't see you saying his first name for anything else. Is it because he's some sort of phenom or whatever? Why are you saying Alexander-Arnold? We weren't even talking about Trent Alexander-Arnold in that video. I have no idea where that complaint's come from. But secondly, funnily enough, guys, Trent's quite a unique first name. It's pretty identifiable. Secondly, do you reckon it's easier for me to say Trent, which is one syllable, or Alexander-Arnold, which is six? 6 times the syllables. Which one do you reckon I'm going to go for, mate? What's going on? It's weird. It's weird. And then you had the person saying, is Shirky going to survive? And then you had someone, once again, the biggest Brexiteer in the world, saying, you're from England, speak English, or whatever, because I say Haaland in the Norwegian way. And it's like, mate, how do you say Thierry Henry then? How do you say Jesus Navas? How do you say Paris Saint-Germain? How do you say Paris? There are language inconsistencies in language. That's how this shit works. People are weird, man. People are weird. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw that, yeah. I hope he replies. I put a picture of Thierry Henry on the screen. I was like, right, say his name. Say his name. Say his surname for me. He's saying Henry? I don't think you are. I think you're saying Henri, which is the French. This is the type of guy to get annoyed at me for saying that it's saying shirky instead of chirky. It's no problem. It's fine. I reckon, like, can we do, like, if we're speaking of fascism and, you know, and that sort of thing, can we do, like, an IQ test? To say, like, right, if you pass, then you get to be a City fan. Yeah? I don't know. I mean, that's definitely not allowed and definitely morally wrong, but for the purposes of fun, can we do that, guys? You need to hit this minimum, or you're not coming in. You're not coming into the City Club, yeah? You need to get to at least 110, or I'm not interested. Yeah? Oh, dear. Obviously, that's a joke. Sort of. It is a joke, but... Is he joking? Is he? I am joking. But is he? I am joking. Right. Yeah. I'm on a rant, guys. It's hot and I'm bothered. It's hot and I'm bothered. Do you think our defenders should stay back rather than doing the midfielders' work? Well, they go where they are told to go. Lewis and Nico are told to invert. They're going to invert. No, because I'm failing it first. Oh god. I'd be second last. Amazing. I could have to be a City fan. Yeah, in it. Come on, guys. You got to hit at least 110. You got to hit at least 110. Oh, has anyone here done an IQ test out of interest? That would be interesting to know. What your guys' rating is, even if it's like not an officially official one. That'd be interesting. Don't worry about it. That's why, because it's bare hot. That's why. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. No, I'm not crashing out on the chat. I'm just crashing out. You guys have been chill today. It's a joke, but I wouldn't be complaining. Oh, new profile. Oh, yes. There we go. That's a proper profile picture. Big up. Who's the player? Is that Yaya? Let me know. Naveen, mate, chill. A 1-1. Yeah, you need to get to at least. Yeah, exactly. You need to get to at least 115 IQ. Oh, Kazoo, that's very high. Well done. That's unofficial, but still. If you do enough of these unofficial ones and you do them at school as well, /college /uni, then you're probably in the right ballpark. That's not good enough, Linny. This guy, Oscar Bob the Goat, mate, as if it's a choice. Yeah, that's a great profile picture, mate. Love that from you. It's 180. Isn't that like Einstein level, Spartacus? Isn't that Einstein level? Check you. You little guy. That makes me look like a little idiot. Right, we're going to wrap up imminently, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, as always. Touchline Talk at 2. You guys know they're always on Tuesdays and Fridays at 2 p.m. What's also consistent is me on Twitch every single Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evening. If you want even more of these sort of like laid-back vibe streams, come over to the Twitch, because that is the situation there. 136 is very high. Yeah, that's very high. I think if you are high 120s or early 130s, then you are in the top 2% of the population. So you're like you're gifted, I think. I think if you're over 140, then you're like genius level. That sort of thing. I'm apparently around, because based on like stuff that happened at school and college and uni and other unofficial stuff / Mensa stuff, I'm at around the 130-ish because there's variance. So it's like 130 to 135 according to these tests, but it has happened consistently, so it's probably about right. That's probably about where I am based on these things. But Spartacus has blown that out of the water. He makes me look like a fucking troglodyte. So fair play to him, man. Fair play. Do you want to come work for me, Spartacus, and share your brain with me? Yeah, guys, go take some unofficial ones. Let me know what your averages are. And I will see you. When will I see you? There's not going to be any content this weekend. I'm not ruining my sleep schedule to watch Al-Ain. Al-Ain ain't happening. So hold that. I'm going to go to sleep. I'll watch the game in full after, but I'm going to be asleep when they're playing. So there won't be a watch-along. Apologies. Not sorry. So I guess the next stream will probably be Touchline Talk on Tuesday, and then, of course, we'll do one for the Juve game, which is at a more human time. It's at a more human time. So that is a thing. I'll use the weekend to work on the Shirky video. Not going to promise you that it will be out by the end of this week. In fact, it won't be out by the end of this week, because I'm not going to be able to finish it in 2 days. No shot. Thank you guys so much for joining. Go follow the Twitch, which is LNobbins, for even more. If you want more knob in your life, there's 3 Twitch streams a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evenings. So go do that. Hit the like on your way out, and I will see you all next time. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, guys.